evening. It's 6 o'clock on Friday, April 29th. Welcome and thank you for joining us tonight for the English edition of Vore News, where we bring you today's top stories translated into English every weeknight. The Democratic Party reacted today to the arrest of Arben Frroku in the Netherlands. Frroku was convicted with life imprisonment by the appellate court for the murder of the former chief of police Drutan Lamai back in 2013. Arben Frroku managed to leave the country after the court of first instance declared him innocent in April of 2015. The Democratic Party accused Prime Minister Rama and the Minister of Interior of deliberately delaying data being sent to the Netherlands for the capture of Arben Frroku. According to the Democratic Party, Frroku was arrested on March 6th in the Netherlands, but the Albanian authorities have not responded to the Dutch authorities. The Democrats consider this to be fact of evidence with the government's connection with crime. The Democratic Party is accusing the Prime Minister of opening the borders for Arben Frroku in order to escape before the appellate court ruled life imprisonment for him. According to the Democrats, the Minister of Interior and the Prime Minister sent the data to the Dutch authorities after the denouncement the former Prime Minister made. The data confirmed that the person arrested in the Netherlands who was using a false identity was in fact Arben Frroku. The Ministry of Interior reacted to the DP accusations in a media statement. The minister clarified that the Albanian authorities have had continuous communication with the Dutch authorities and that the state police did its job according to the law. The ministry says that the data for Arben Frroku was sent to the Netherlands in record time and that the identity of the arrested person was confirmed yesterday evening. The ministry adds that the procedure for his extradition has started. The Ministry of Interior invites the DP to be by the side of the law and institutions to allow justice institutions to work against crime. Prime Minister Rama gathered the National Council of Territory to present the project for the National Stadium. During the presentation of the project, the Prime Minister responded to the accusations and voices against the project, inviting those against the project to first see it before giving their opinion. The Prime Minister considered the current stadium to be in a miserable condition, and he believes a partnership with private investors would be the best alternative to bring development. The Prime Minister gave the assurance that the authentic part of the stadium would be preserved. According to him, the project provides more public space for the citizens, and Prime Minister Rama also defended the presence of a tower in the stadium's project, saying that it is not an Albanian invention and made a comparison with the stadium in Florence. The president of the Albanian Football Federation expressed support for the National Stadium project, saying that it's impossible for everyone to be satisfied with the project. Meanwhile, the rep from the architecture studio, which has projected the stadium, has had this to say. It is reasonable for there to be debate over the issue. We are ready to have a constructive debate with those who are against the project. The initial value of the project is predicted to be 50 million euro, but the Prime Minister said that this may not be enough, which makes the cooperation with private investors necessary, as the government alone would not be able to construct a stadium with such a cost. The Democratic Party chairman started a tour of meetings to present the DP economic program. Increasing minimum wage and the decrease of energy prices for families that consume less than 300 kilowatt hours are the main points of the DP program. The DP chairman held meetings with Vore citizens and business owners. The first thing we will do is increase salaries to make life easier for people. Energy prices will be reduced for those who consume less than 300 kilowatt hours, and also energy prices will decrease for business owners, said Basha. The DP chairman met with 700 employees of manufacturing businesses. They expressed their concern regarding pensions. Mr. Basha declared that the DP program will undo the pension reform of Prime Minister Rama, and now the new focus on the reform will be on the retiring age. The Democratic Party will defend the employers at any cost. We will support every business owner who opens new jobs for our citizens. Our platform for economic increases offers for new jobs with higher salaries. A 9% flat rate tax, 9% income tax, 9% social contributions, 0% tax on dividends, and 15% value-added tax. These are some of the fiscal reliefs we will offer to the Albanian enterprises, declared Basha. The DP chairman's tour of meetings with the citizens to present the DP alternative is giving the citizens an opportunity to know the program better. Prime Minister Rama announced the second phase of the water reform and warned the mayors that they will not receive funds if they do not manage water companies properly. During a meeting with the mayors, the Prime Minister declared that if the municipalities fail to manage the water companies, then the government will manage them. The Prime Minister also declared that increasing land surface to be irrigated is another objective. The Democrat mayors raised their concerns regarding the water companies and their debts due to lack of funds. The Prime Minister said that the competencies for the city halls have increased, and this is accompanied with funds as well. He added that the government has supported City Hall more now than in the last 25 years. At a time when employment is being hotly discussed in both public and political forums, the Institute of Statistics, INSTAT, concludes that the majority of unemployed people in Albania have been unemployed for a long time. According to the latest data, those unemployed for 1 year or more comprises 66% of the total unemployed. The long-term unemployment rate has risen by 1.7% from last year. INSTAT highlights that last year, 6 out of 10 of those unemployed were seeking work for the first time. The number of unemployed first-time job seekers rose by 1.3% compared with 2014. Analyzing unemployment by the level of education, it is noted that in Albania's labor market, the unemployment rate is higher for persons with only secondary education at 20.4%, followed closely by those with higher education at 19.1%. Unemployment for people with only a primary education showed a decrease of 1% during 2015. Agriculture and public services are the two sectors generating the majority of jobs in Albania, respectively at 41.3% and 39.9% of the total employees. These figures demonstrate currently limited possibilities to generate employment in other sectors. The third meeting between the governments of Kosovo and Albania will be held on June 3rd of this year. In the news announced by Kosovo's Prime Minister after a meeting with his government, he declared that preparations for the joint meeting have already started. The Prime Ministers of Kosovo and Albania will meet at the National Library of Kosovo. The joint meeting will be held in Pristina on June 3rd on the premises of the National Library. By the end of next week, we will have completed all of the conventions that the two governments will sign. We will sit to prepare them beginning next week in order to not have delays, he said. This is the third meeting of Kosovo and Albania's governments. The previous two meetings were held in Tirana and in Prizren. That's all for our English edition this evening. Please join us again Monday through Saturday at 6 p.m. for your local news in English. My name is Mari, and on behalf of Ora News, thank you and good night.